Vidushi, my first and the most obvious question to you. What made you quit the banking career, this flourishing banking career?
I made a quit.
Well, I don't know how many of you are bankers here or have been in the profession. It's a dry, boring job. And I fortunately always understood the arts. I mean, I was someone from right from when I was little, I've been doing theater. And I think it was after my children were born, I realized that, just going to work and number crunching the whole day, naukri giri, and, answering to your boss who was a super boss and a super boss and a super boss, it just doesn't pan out. So I figured that this is not how I want my life in motion. And I decided to quit. But fortunately for me, I had the love of arts that sort of drew me back into the world of theater, and my journey as an actor began from there, professionally.
We've been discussing this all along. We all have some kind of strength which we need to sort of identify and then follow that. Nikhil, you and Vidushi both have very demanding professions. Long working hours, I'm sure frequent travels and social commitments and all of that. So, and then you have twins. Did you ever grudge Vidushi joining the showbiz or acting for that matter?
Since I first met Vidushi, I remember I was introduced to her through a friend of mine. She didn't know, it was a blind date. And in the course of the conversation, I learned so much about her, and most of it was that she was an actor, a theater person, great singer, and somewhere down the line, she forgot about all of that. And then she went out and, studied her cost accountancy and went to ABN AMRO and American Express. And I, being an entrepreneur, had the luxury of spending as much time as I wanted back home, but I'd never find her there. I actually wanted her to be an actor and be true to what she really is. And to live with an actor is so joyful because every day you're seeing a new person. Not always good, but it's definitely lots of fun. Especially for me, I like newness in everything I do, and I constantly need challenges, and I constantly need to see a new person. And a banker doesn't do it for me, but an actor does.
So that really means Vidushi is your muse?
Yes, there's no doubt about that. So whenever she's not feeling up to the mark in terms of a career, my design philosophy also seems to kind of deviate towards a direction which may not be so exciting. So we've realized that in the past, the time we've been together is constantly inspire each other. So if she achieves higher goals and is happy with what she's doing, I get a chance to be happy with what I'm doing. So it's kind of a selfish relationship, but it's great fun.
Vidushi, I'm sure many of us want to know about the support system that you rely on. How does it work for both of you?
I'm very blessed. My biggest support system is actually my husband. By the virtue of his profession, like he said, he's an entrepreneur with great luxuries of time. No, but he's very busy. But I think what works between us is when I have an important commitment, then he takes a back seat. And, he figures out his commitments around mine, which is the biggest blessing, because I don't know how many of our husbands actually do that. I mean, on paper, they'd be great, but coming down to brass tacks and actually helping you out, raising your family together, also making sure that you achieve your goals while he does his, I think that's something to be really cherished. And that's what I feel makes this marriage so beautiful, because we have the understanding of our passions for each other, and we understand that if he understands his passion so well, and if he understands if he doesn't get that extra day to create that most magnificent design, which he's itching and dying to do, then he understands that if I don't get my time on stage, then I die. A part of me dies. So I think that's what really helps us to be together, our understanding for each other's passions.
Oh, wonderful. Vidushi, you mentioned that you came back to performing arts
Yes.
After your children were born. What was holding you back for so long?
Paycheck.
You know, I was earning very well in the corporate world, and I was very fortunate to have achieved very early success in my corporate stint. I worked for 10 years. I worked with American Express and GE and ABN AMRO, and I resigned as an assistant vice president almost 7 years ago. So it was very hard to let go of that financial independence, which I don't even make a quarter or not even like 1/100th of what I used to make. But the feeling of being in a situation where you get to do what you really want to do is worth $1,000,000. And I think if all of us here can make that decision, then we're just happier people. And I think you can't really attach a monetary value to happiness. So I think stage does that for me. My creativity brings that out in me. And so it was a bit of a difficult adjustment to begin with, but then, you know, I was getting to do stuff on stage and play these multifaceted variety of roles, which I wasn't doing in the bank.
Vidushi, do you think it's a difficult one, but do you think that Nikhil would have had that choice as a father, as a husband, to quit a flourishing career, something which was very, very well paying, and take the plunge like that?
You see, Nikhil's very fortunate to have also worked out his career the way he's always imagined it. At the age of 10, he ripped his jeans and took his jeans to his dad and said, wear these or something like that, right? Or I'm wearing these. So he knew at a very early age he wanted to be a designer, not essentially a fashion designer, but he knew that he was creative, and the field of creativity is where he wanted to make his mark at a very young age. And I think when you're creative, then you really don't have too much of a direction, or you don't have the pressure of someone who's sort of more left-brained or right-brained, you know. So I think in his case, he's more right-brained than left-brained. And I think there are perks with being right-brained, because then you're not looking at your bank account, you're not feeling the pressure of having to make the money and support families, and even though that comes with it, but it's not the driving force. I think his driving force is to make beautiful clothes all the time. And I think where he comes under pressure is, how do I max my last collection? How do I make my current collection look better than it did the last time? So it's a different kind of stress. So I don't think he would have ever needed to have made that decision, because it's been relatively easy.
That's right.
There are legendary stories of, you know, marriages breaking apart because both the partners wanted to have a career or wanted to pursue that passion that they have. Now, tell us honestly. It's going to. I know it's difficult, but tell us honestly if you ever face that kind of insecurity when both of you have, like, you know, very, very demanding. You know, acting is demanding in itself. Like Nikhil said, he wakes up to see another person every day. It can be very, very challenging.
I don't know. I think it really comes down to being very simple in your thought. It also comes down to being having an intent that is pure. You don't get into marriage for expecting to do things, to do more things. You're actually you're getting married to be with one another the way you are. And I think if you keep it as simple as that, Vidushi to me is the same person she was 14 years ago. And because we still demand love and respect from each other, the rest is just life. In terms of careers, it's very simple. Whatever she may do or I may do possibly just requires 7 more days or maybe 10 days. I'm happy to give those 10 days, and I know she's happy to fill in for those 10 days to manage things out. The problem is when your ego comes in and says, I can't do it, you know I have a big event coming up, how could you take this commitment and not think about me? But that can also reverse. She could have a very important event if I don't think about it. So coming down to brass tacks, keep it very simple. We've always made sure that if Vidushi has a role and she has to go to Hyderabad and she's going to Hyderabad now for 3 days. Just go without thinking about how to manage the kids.
Is it as simple as it sounds?
It is as simple as that.
Well, I mean, Nikhil's been the optimist, and I'm the pessimist in our relationship, and he's always been the guiding light. No, it isn't as simple. It is, you know, it takes practice. It takes many of these situations where, you know, and it's just, I don't know what it is. I'm actually not such a busy actor. I get to do stuff because I choose and pick. I don't want to be doing everything. I don't want to be a character artist in every film or. So, you know, I've kind of over the years filtered down the projects that I want to be a part of, and by the virtue of having made that decision, I end up doing minimal work. So I'm not really hectic. So, but every now and then when an opportunity does arise, I do look at the children first. I mean, my first priority has always been my children, and I look at their schedule, and my kids have very demanding lives of their own. And where I feel that a project will not lift me in its highest esteem, I give it up. So it has to be extra special for me to take that time away from my children. And that's a decision that I have stuck to. So projects don't come by that often anymore, you know, because then, you know, it's a process of very high filtration for me. But in the past, yes, there has been conflict. I wouldn't say there hasn't been, because because, you know, Nikhil's on a rise and he's only growing from strength to strength, and I think there can only be one diva in the family, you know, and I think Nikhil is the diva.
Possibly the wrong word.
Yeah, well, diva in the sense that there can only be like one superstar. You can't really both be as successful, as well endowed in terms of, you know, everything that you have. So yeah, so I support his career. And I think as a woman, you have to let go of that ego. You have to say that, yes, you're somebody in your own right, and you have your own identity, and you're not just anybody's wife or just a mother. You have a life of your own, you have, you know, passions of your own. But I think it's also sensible then to figure out which of the two is going to provide for your children, how is that college fund going to come about, how are we going to make trips abroad, how are we going to improve our quality of life, and it will come from the person who's earning more.
So with
And
that,
so just having that sort of clarity in your mind, you have to support your partner who's doing better.
after you've arrived at that clarity, what are the trade-offs that you've made peace with?
Just this very thing that I've had to let go of many opportunities, whether, you know, whether they might have culminated into something that I had imagined them to be, or if not. They're just opportunities. At the end of the day, you can't really know what an opportunity results into unless you've tried them. So I've let go of them even before I've tried them. So that is the trade-off. But, you know, the opportunities come and go. As an actor, there will be plenty of things to do. So one has to look at the brighter side and say that if I'm letting go of this, something bigger, better will come my way.
Nikhil, what are the 3 things that you think really make this partnership work the way you said you've never planned it, or but you know, the way you have wanted it to be? To keep it that simple.
I don't know. I think that firstly, she's always been my muse. So that's always very exciting. Secondly, I think that we are great friends. You know, career and all of it is great. I mean, fine. We need to earn a living, and, you know, we need to do a great job in what we do. But more importantly, I think it's about relationships at the end of the day. And there's no negotiation there. We've been great friends since we met. We're still great friends. We go out on, you know, to go out to drink. We often get drunk together. And, you know, we have fun. I think that's, bottom line is you should have fun, right?
You're going to work out like a hero from here.
Maybe a Shiro.
Shiro, yes, a Shiro,
I've already
yes.
called him a diva.
Yeah. No, we have fun. I mean, Vidushi and I, we don't try to have fun. We can have conversations about things. We don't, when we're sitting on a table, we're not on our phones. And if we are on our phones, we are doing something important. We always come back to conversation. I think conversation really ignites Great relationships. Yeah.
Vidushi, I believe you both live in a joint family system. You live together with the
Right.
family. How does that work for you?
Well,
And for the children especially?
it
Because
works.
this is society that we live in
Yes.
does not believe in joint family system anymore.
Well, it works on multiple levels because you have the support of, we all live together, we have separate floors, we have our independence, but we work as a unit. His older brother and sister-in-law are in the same building as we. His parents are on the ground floor. It works. The thing is that my mother-in-law and my father-in-law also work. So it becomes a little challenging when I have to, when he's at work and when my mother-in-law is at work and when there's no one else around. So then you depend on friends. And I have a very, very strong network of very, very close friends with their children. And they tend to rely on me when I'm off work and when they have important commitments. And then, we just feed off each other's energies like that. But it works because in the evenings, Nikhil goes to play tennis, and if I have a yoga class, then we go, and then our parents are home to look after the children. So we get small doses of free time to spend with each other, which is the nicer
Quite
thing,
incredible.
as opposed to finding that one holiday that once a year and then blocking
Family come
time and
together.
saying, Mom, you've got to be with the kids because we are spending 10 days and wherever. So I
Right.
think it's those small doses of quality time that Nikhil and I get to spend with each other or get to do things that we really want for ourselves that comes through the family.
Nikhil, do you believe in role definitions that come with parenting? A mother is supposed to be the primary caregiver, father is supposed to be the primary breadwinner, and all of that.
The role that I know is of a father. And I think that in today's day and age, there's no mother or father. I and Vidushi work as a team. We're raising kids, so there's no, again, can't have ego about it. Can't say that, it's your child, you manage it. Doesn't really work like that. Our focus is that our kids should be brought up in an environment that they can feel, when they feel pain, they call our names, not mom or just dad. When they feel happiness, they should feel happiness with their parents, not with a parent. Because a lot of us were brought up in an environment where we didn't see our parents, our dads for a long, long time. And I think that new age parenting is very different. We've got a lot of issues with digital being available so easily, and the kids are learning so quickly. Our support is, I think, I can speak for us.
Also,
we're pretty.
Yeah. Also, I think why it never happened earlier in the generations before us is because I don't think women allowed men. Really. I think we have to take the onus upon ourselves also to a great degree because I don't think our mums, our grandmothers really allowed their husbands to be a part of that whole process of rearing children, right from the beginning. Because it was always a done thing that ye aurat ka kaam hai, ye mard ka kaam hai. And I think what's changed today in our generation is that the women have allowed the men to come in. The men now change diapers. The men understand, okay, they understand how to feed their babies. They understand how to clean their babies, give them baths, like Nikhil is the perfect substitute for me. Like he can replace me in a heartbeat and my children won't even miss me,
But that's the whole idea, right? I mean,
So that's the thing. I think if two parents can sort of interchangeably substitute each other for their roles, you have a winning team.
it's teamwork at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The kids have to be brought up in the right environment.
And that winning team actually can do a great professional work. They do very, very well professionally as well. Is that true?
I guess when you're happy inside and you have some clarity on where you're heading, then yeah, it all comes down to a bit of clarity, I feel. You have kids to raise them. You don't have kids because you're bored. Simply, I mean, I've seen this a lot recently, that a lot of parents are having kids for all the wrong reasons. There are a lot of people getting married for all the wrong reasons as well. And I think that when the intent is incorrect, then obviously the content will be to follow.
That's true.
Vidushi,
Put
you've
it like
made
that.
two very pertinent points. One is of letting go to follow, or to have that clarity.
Yes.
And two, of allowing the other parent to be as much a part of parenting as you are.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to share here with the audience, which consists of mothers, would-be mothers, women who will get married, young girls, and also fathers, or maybe, you know, would-be fathers?
See, I think whatever works for you, just do it. I mean, you can't really follow somebody else's life pattern. You know, your children bring about the best in you. Your children, when they're born, they really teach you what kind of parent you ought to be. You know, and for us, in our case, we have a boy and a girl, and they're twins, and they're so diametrically different from each other. And I think, you know, that's just it. Your children teach you. And when you don't have children and you're getting married, then I guess you have to really follow your instincts, and you have to understand your partner completely. You have to understand what kind of, you see, you know, one gets carried away with the fluff initially, but I think it's important to have that discussion about the future and about what kind of parents you think you want to be and what kind of partners you think you want to be and how do you inspire each other. I think that's the key. You have to continue to want that inspiration from your partner for your marriage or your relationships to flourish. I think that's the key.
Nikhil, your last word on keeping it simple.
You're complicating it. I mean, just be. Really, just be.
We'll now do a rapid fire. I'll just give you one word. The first thought or the first phrase or the first name, it could be a proper noun or a common noun, anything that comes to your mind, just speak it aloud. So, okay. Nikhil, your turn first.
Go for it.
Marriage.
It's fun.
Joy.
Golf.
Success.
Kids, happiness.
Kids.
Hugs.
Love.
Endless.
Fear.
Oh, no fear.
Passion.
Existing.
Happiness.
Constant.
Dream.
All the time.
Vidushi.
My muse.
Wonderful. Vidushi, your turn now.
Thank you.
Love. So we get it, yeah.
Electric.
Acting.
Life.
Fear.
Tsunamis.
Director.
Martin Scorsese.
Music.
Passion.
Clothes.
Nikhil.
Parenting.
Vidushi Nikhil.
Stage.
World.
Camera. Marriage.
Marriage.
Oh, wow.
Companionship.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.